50, 45, there goes Davis.
Oh my God!
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in, everyone. Welcome into a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 493 of these motherfuckers. Friday, January 24th, 2025. Kid, snow starting to melt a little bit over here. How you doing?
It's cold, man. It's cold. It's honestly one of the coldest weeks in the past year or two up here in the Northeast, man. We've been going through it, but other than that, pretty good. Championship weekend. Let's get into it, though.
Yeah, we got a big show for you guys today. We'll talk about the coaching carousel that's been going on. Only 2 spots left for head coaching. We'll talk about that. We got NFL championship weekend. We got the Redskins at Eagles 3:00 on Sunday, and then Sunday Night Football, Bills at Arrowhead. Hey, they'll be ready for the cold. Buffalo's cold up there. They will be ready for the cold in Kansas City. We got only a 3-game slate here on a Friday in the association. Small slate as well for college. Usually Saturdays are a huge game. They're about over 100 games. So only 14 games. I got picks on that as well. But Elvis, I don't tout a lot. I don't tout very often, if I'll say so myself, especially on the history of this show. Have not done a lot of winning in my life, professionally, and collegiate levels. But I'll say this, and I'll never apologize. I am a national champion. I am a national champion. It feels amazing. Ohio State wins its 9th national championship, 34-23. Game got a little closer at the end, I'll say that. They started to make a little comeback, but Jeremiah Smith, Will Howard, he was dealing early on. He didn't turn the ball over. Quinyon Jenkins, not 1, not 2, but 3 tutties. He was bugging. Jeremiah Smith, he had that long catch at the sideline to kind of seal the game. I'm sorry the under didn't hit, but kid, I am a champion. No one could take that away from me.
Yeah, though. What a great national championship. More entertaining than recent past. I give it that. Ohio State just proved, they were the best team all along. I understand they lost to, Michigan. They didn't win the game that's most important to them, but they won the biggest game of them all. You got to give credit to that. Brian Day at least earned all the credibility, all the respect earned as a Ohio State head coach. I'm gonna give him 5 years still. I'm gonna give him 5 years. He still needs to beat Michigan.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give him a pass. If he loses to Michigan next year, it's fine. Maybe the year after is fine. But after that, he got to start, bringing it around. But other than that, great national championship, like you said. Will Howard, wasn't amazing, but pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Like I said, didn't turn the ball over. Did everything he needed to do to win the game. Was pretty clean as well. And the rushing attack from this team, though, over 200 on the ground. Even Will Howard had pretty good rushes as well. But overall, Ohio State just proved they were the best team all along. They just couldn't get over the hump with Michigan. That's all.
It's fine. I know a lot of people, I might be on record. I can neither confirm or deny that I'd rather beat the team up north than win a national championship.
Nah.
But I am a liar if I did say that, because it feels good to be a champion. We won the first ever college playoff win. It was just 4 teams. And then Ohio State won the first extended college football playoff. It's the 9th championship for Ohio State. Do you know which team has the most? You'll never guess. I'll give you a hint. It's an Ivy League.
Ivy League, isn't it? Not Stanford? No, not Stanford. Fuck. They used to win it back in the day. I forgot.
From 1874, and their last title was 1927. Yale with 18 titles.
Yeah.
Alabama's second with 16. Princeton, another Ivy League, at 3 with 15. Notre Dame has 13 at 4. The team up north has 10, and Ohio State is tied with USC with 9. So we're one behind, and I'm telling you, I wish I had the Brady picture, which is all the rings. But it was sick. Notre Dame, they have not beaten Ohio State in 88 years old,
Wow.
and since Lou Holtz has been alive, they have not beaten Ohio State. So that's a feather in their cap as well. And stability. I love it. I'm not the biggest Ryan Day fan, but he did get an extension. He probably will continue to coach at Ohio State.
5 years. 5 years.
Yeah. He does need to beat Michigan. He that has to be a priority next year. Especially with the amount of money NIL with this most expensive team.
Not, I would say next year is not a must. It's
And
not a must.
in 4 years, bro.
I,
It's bad now.
I know. It's not a must though. The national championship can linger for a year or two,
I
but
mean,
for the next 5 years, he has to go 3-2.
for a positive for Michigan fans, at least the championship is staying in the Big Ten. They won it last year. We won it this year. Big Ten football. What happened to the SEC? That used to be the best division.
Well, things are shaking up. Maybe in a couple years they'll regain the title again. But we just saw the SEC dominate.
Yeah.
We saw them dominate. From what late 20 teens to early 2020. So I think they'll regain the title back again. Just give them a couple years.
Ohio State has had 3 head coaches in the last 25 years. All 3 of them have brought world titles. All 3 of them were in the building for Ryan's Day first title as well. That is culture in Columbus. We are going for number 10 next year, kid. It was a fun night Monday, MLK Day and national championship, Ohio State. Let's talk about the carousel. Ohio's NFL carousel. We will start with Chicago. Ben Johnson, he gets the Bears job. I feel bad for Detroit fans. We'll talk about my new head coach as well. But they're really going away. He's going to go from serving the OC from the Lions under Dan Campbell to now he's going to be versing the Lions twice a year. In 3 seasons, Ben Johnson, as the OC, ranked top 5 in scoring in all 3 years. He finished 5th in 2022 and 23. 2024, this year, he finished 1st, 33.2 points per game. The Lions led the NFL in scoring this season for the first time since 1954. It's insane. He definitely deserves it. They got him. Numbers aren't out there, but from reporters in the Chicago area, it looks like he's getting about $15 million a year.
Wow.
It's a lot, but he was the number 1 guy on everyone's board. You needed to go make a splash. I'm actually surprised Chicago landed him not surprised because they have the talent. It's just not something they usually go out and spend a lot of money on coaching, but he's building a really good coaching staff. And, say what we want about Dennis Allen and him as a head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator. He's the leading candidate to be the new DC in Chicago as well. I like the move, honestly. Thoughts on Ben Johnson getting it, and what do you think he does this year?
One, I think it was another great move from the Chicago Bears front office. I said it last year. I think Matt Huberflus should have been let go. I understand a lot of people like them. Me personally, I think when you draft a rookie quarterback, you got to get somebody that's going to develop him sooner than later. And I think with a guy like Ben Johnson or somebody that's more offensive equipped, they're gonna help Caleb develop sooner. And I think Ben Johnson is the perfect guy, especially in this year's coaching cycle for the hire. Let's not forget, people. Last year, Ben Johnson's name was hot in the market, and he declined a couple head coaching jobs. Maybe he had his eyes on the Chicago job, knowing possibly there's a chance to be available this year. He was the number 1 candidate in multiple positions. I wish the Patriots was able to get him, but hey, I'm happy with our guy. But like I said, I think Chicago made the great choice. And now with Ben Johnson, I think he could turn this offense to the next level. We already know the potential Caleb Williams got. A healthy Keenan Allen, he proved it this year. He still got it. Maybe he's not what he once was, but Keenan Allen is still a threat. Roma Duzier, he's a pretty good offensive weapon. And we already know DJ Moore could be a top 10 wide receiver, giving him the opportunity. So I feel like getting Ben Johnson, you're gonna see Caleb Williams take that next step, and if they could keep that core, even with Cole Kmet, get it established a little bit of a better running game, we could. I wouldn't be surprised we see the Chicago Bears take that step like the Lions did. Remember, Lions was like a three win team. Dan Campbell got hired, they won 8 games, 7 or 8 games. Following season, they made it to the NFC Championship game. Following season, first seed. So I wouldn't be surprised in 3, 4 years, Chicago, maybe not as good as the Detroit Lions. Let me not stress that enough. But we'll see them elevate from like a 4 win team, 7 win team to possibly a 10 win team. Yeah, you're still muted, kid, but
I definitely think. Sorry, I definitely think he's going to improve the team. Like you said, maybe it's going to be a gradual from 4 to 7 to maybe 10 to the playoffs. My only concern is you're not bringing the offensive line. You're not bringing the weapons that you had in Detroit. Yeah, you got some good weapons, and Caleb Williams definitely needs to develop, and I think Ben Johnson is the perfect guy for him. But that offensive line, they need major work. We saw it. He was the most sacked quarterback this year. He was running for his life. He needs help on that offensive line.
Yeah, you got to shore it up. They're gonna have a top 10 pick. You could start there. You could do what Kansas City did after that Super Bowl loss against the Buccaneers. Just go out there and sign 2 All-Pros and add them to your offensive line. So if I'm Chicago Bear, I'm aiming high first round, second round, possibly at the offensive line, and I'm gonna try to throw that bag around. We know they got a ton of cap space. They got Caleb on a rookie deal. I'm gonna see what type of All-Pros want to go make some money up in Chicago.
They definitely have the people. They have the stars. They got the talent, I think, on the offensive side.
And defensively, they got some pieces.
Yeah, they started to play better in the second half of the season.
Like honestly, Allen, you might not be the hugest fan of, but guys that, let's just say, a lot of people that's fans of the NFC South knows Dennis Allen could coach his butt off, especially on defensive side of the ball.
I was just gonna ask
might not
you,
be a great head coach, but as a DC, he's one of the best.
And also, he didn't have the pieces. To be fair, he didn't have the
team.
pieces. Yeah, it was a bad team. I was gonna ask you thoughts on him taking care of the defense, because I think they have a pretty good defense. I just didn't think. I thought Matt Eberflus was a better served as a DC. As a DC, Matt Eberflus was a good coach, but as a head coach, it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah. Me personally, though, I heard this guy, he might get his job back in San Francisco, but I would have liked to see Robert Saleh in Chicago.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go back to
San
Francisco.
We just saw him in Green Bay. I think Robert Saleh could still be a pretty good head coach. I know he's a good DC, so to me, he would have got respected. He's been in the NFC. He's familiar with some of those guys as well. I think it probably would have worked out. But Dennis Allen, another NFC guy, well respected. I think with either of those guys, you can't really. It's kind of a win-win for either one. So I think Dennis Allen as a DC, if the Bears are able to hire him, I think they'll hit a home run this offseason, or at least the coaching staff.
Well, we heard towards the week 18, week 17 that this name was circled, maybe in a trade talk. Not anymore. Vikings and Kevin O'Connell, they reached an agreement on a multi-year extension. He was scheduled to enter his last year of the contract, but no longer. Now that it's done, the Vikings are also working on extending their GM as well. But I think it was smart leaking it a little early, saying, this he's a great coach. He's probably going to get coach of the year, in trade talks to maybe for another team that can't land a big guy but still wants a big coach. Vikings say, no. We're going to lock in Kevin O'Connell. And I think it's the right move. He's one of the best offensive minds in the league today.
Yeah, you can't deny the job Kevin O'Connell has done. Not just this year. Look what he did last year, with multiple quarterbacks, Joshua Dobbs, Mullins, Kirk Cousins going down with injury. They were still fighting and being competitive. This year, 4.5, 5.5 win total, over under. They have their best season in a long time. Sammy D, he turned Sammy D into a Pro Bowl, Pro Bowler. He looked like a franchise quarterback. Sammy D, to me, he got to give at least 10%, 20% to Kevin O'Connell for reviving his career. So
Yeah.
What he was able to do this season after McCarthy goes down, no hope, no expectations. He goes out there, win 14 games
That's crazy.
with Sammy D, and they look like one of the best offenses in all of football. Give him a Hall of Famer or somebody out there to see what he could do. Because Kirk Cousins, when he was there, he was great at times. He was great. Can't deny how good Kirk Cousins. Remember, and let's not forget, people. Kirk Cousins in the Minnesota Vikings team a couple years ago started 7-8-0, just a
Hmm.
couple years ago. So Kevin O'Connell's been doing a great job, and I'm glad he's getting taken care for it.
100% now, and it's not his fault they've been losing. It's execution. The play calling has been fantastic, I think, from Kevin O'Connell. Let's go to your Patriots. You got your wish. You're bringing the band back together. Josh McDaniels is officially rehired as the OC. They've also hired the Lions defensive line coach Terrell Williams as the defensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel's to send him his team, kid. Thoughts on Josh McDaniels and the return?
I love it, though. I feel like it's 2006 again. You got Mike Vrabel on the team. You got Josh McDaniels on the coaching staff. It's feeling good. It's like the Patriots way is coming back. No disrespect to Jerome Mayo, but we know Mike Vrabel. He's already starting off as a, let's just say, it's looking better already. The coaching staff is already much more improved. So I like what Vrabel is doing. I think Josh McDaniels is proven he's a good offensive coordinator. Yes, a lot of success maybe due to the greatest player of all time, a la Tom Brady. But I think with Josh McDaniels, our playbook is going to open up a little more. And I also think he'll help develop Drake May and possibly take him to that next step this upcoming season.
What do you think he does for the development of Drake May?
At the end of the day, he has a ton of experience, a lot of winning experience. At the end of the day, he could go in the room and motivate the kid and show he's like, yo, I was telling Tom Brady to do this. You see this play here and this matchup? I told him to do this. He executed. You, I could put you in position. You just got to execute. Yeah, you might not be Tom Brady, but he could put you in position to execute and put you in position to win. And that's something Josh McDaniels could tell him that not too many the offensive coordinators could tell their quarterback. So he's been there, done that, and right now the way it's assembled, they're building a winning culture. I'm not saying, hey, watch out for the New England Patriots, but all I'm saying is with the pieces that there's going on, Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, uh, bro from coming over from the Lions, still we're building winning culture, and that's what I appreciate.
Yeah, his name is Terrell Williams. He was the defensive line coach for the Lions, and as you know, the Lions, they were getting after it. Now they're
After
obviously not bringing
with
over.
with second and third strings getting after it.
Yeah. And the defensive coordinator, another Lions guy out. New coach for the New York Jets. We get Aaron Glenn as our guy. I am all in. I wasn't in last show. I said, you know what? I was tired of it, but he was a former 1994 first-round pick. He was there when we were bad, and he was there when we were good with Parcells. He became a scout. He really worked his way up. It's a 5-year deal as well. The Jets, they've hired 7 head coaches since the end of 2000, obviously with Aaron Glenn, 6 of them being first-time head coaches with defensive backgrounds. Herm Edwards, Eric Mangini, Rex Ryan's, Todd Bowles, Robert Salah, and now Aaron Glenn. The lone exception, can you name him?
Adam Gates.
There you go. And he was the worst one. Man, you never really know. I'll say this: you never really know who's going to be a successful head coach. But everyone or every person online that knows Aaron Glenn, I've listened. He was on the Pivot, Ryan Clark's podcast. I heard him. We're going to get after him. He's a player's coach. Everyone talks about how they'll run through a wall for this guy. The defense, Quinnen Williams, CJ Mosley, Sauce, they were ecstatic when we signed Aaron Glenn. I mean, if you look at the Lions defense, the tendency and the way they continued to play after losing a lot of players on defense, I thought was incredible. I know they lost, but I think this could be a positive for New York. I know we've seen it. Like I said, we've hired coaches with defensive backgrounds, first time being head coaches, but I'm hoping this could be all in. Number 31, Aaron Glenn. He's my guy. And people who don't like it, my spin zone, racist. But what do you think?
Uh, my initial opinion, I think it was a great hire. Alexander, we know he was a hot candidate. Look at what he's been doing in Detroit for the past 2 seasons. One hell of a job. To me, one trend I like is the former player coach trend. We saw it with D'Amico Ryans. We saw it with um
Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel, John Harbaugh. Uh, who else is the player coach that made the playoffs? Oh, Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm liking that trend because one, he's gonna bring. It's not just a job. He has love and passion for the New York Jets. That's something. Not saying all coaches don't think, but that's something a little emphasis that some of these coaches are gonna bring. This is just a sense of pride. It's like the Charger way, the Patriots way,
Yeah.
the Detroit Lion way. So I love the aspect of former players becoming the head coach. And look, it's having success. Look at D'Amico Ryans in Houston, turn that team around, back to back playoff season. Let's not forget, they just had the second overall pick. They were a bad franchise. He turned it around like that. Look at Harbaugh in San Diego. They were 4 or 5 win team last year. Turned it around like that. Dan Campbell turned it around like that. I hope Mike Vrabel could do the same, and not for Fernando. I know you it had a rough life. I hope Glenn can do the same for your Jets. So
Me too.
my personal opinion, I think it was a great hire. For the noise out there, hey, not everybody's gonna love the coaching hire. It is what it is. But in my opinion, the Jets are gonna be a little better, a little prepared, especially defensively,
Yeah.
which I lacked of. That
Mm-hmm.
defensive drop off from last year to this year,
Insane.
very noticeable. I'm gonna just say that, very noticeable. So
Yeah.
I think you're gonna bring that top 10-ish defensive crowd back in Jets Nation.
We mentioned Ben Johnson, OC from Detroit, gone. DC, Aaron Glenn, gone. Defensive line coach, gone. Another assistant that could be gone, that could join either you guys or us as well. What do you say to the Detroit fans online that are mad and are saying that their window is gone? All the guys, or they're saying, you know what? We want to wait until the offseason for you guys to leave, because they're spinning it in a way where they're saying, oh, they weren't focused. They were too busy taking interviews to worry about. And I feel them. They're mad. But what do you have to say? Because I don't think, and Ben Johnson didn't even do an in-person interview. He did it all through Zoom. So you don't even have to go through in-person interviews. I think that's a cop-out. I think they're trying to spin it for themselves. But what do you say to after those Lions fans that are saying, you know what, our window might be closed?
First of all, I understand, but realistically, it's not close. Yes, I understand you had a great offensive coordinator. Make the case one of the best in the game, and you had a great defensive coordinator. Can't deny that. But the window ain't closed. You still got Campbell. You still got Jared Goff. As long as those pieces are there, you still got Knuckles and Sonic. Yeah, you'll be just fine. Yes, you will have a better chance this season. First time in since 1954, number one in points, number one seed, 15-win season. Yes, maybe that's out of the realm, but your championship window, I think you still open. Maybe not win 15 games next season, maybe not be the first seed next season, but I still think you have a championship window.
The turn of events in this next case was crazy, because in the beginning of the week, he informed Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers that he was going to stay. He was going to get a pay increase. And then last night, the Buccaneers said they weren't able to get a hold of Liam Cohen in a few days. He was out there up in Duval County taking head coaching jobs, and he got the job. He is now the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He landed a huge deal. I mean, he's the new head coach, and he left behind an agreement he reached earlier in the week to become the highest paid coordinator for the Buccaneers. But Jaguars, they get their guy, and the Bucks, they lose their coordinator. This is the last two offensive coordinators in Tampa have been one and done and have left for a head coaching job. Dan Canales, he left for the Panthers head coaching job, and now Liam Cohen has left for the Jacksonville Jaguar. So now Tampa has another OC opening with strong offensive line, Baker, good wide receivers, and also tight ends as well.
Yeah.
First, how much should Liam Cohen write to Baker Mayfield because he owes him a piece? He owes him a piece of that money. And two, is this a snake move or not?
10% to Baker, Canales, and him.
Yeah,
10% for as long as they're under contract. 10% quarterly. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah because you publicly came out and said,
"Yeah,
I'm gonna come back."
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to be like, "All right, yo, it's a small chance I'm coming back, but let's not go public. Okay, I'm just gonna let Brian, Arias, and Todd Bowles know in front office. I'm just gonna let the front office know, yo, I'm entertaining the Jacksonville job. If they, their numbers jump up a little bit, I might take it. But right now, nothing official. You publicly came out and said, "Oh, I'm going back to Tampa." 3 days later, you're going to Jacksonville. I'm not mad at the player. I'm not mad. I respect it. You gotta go where the paper's right. On the positive note, if I'm a coordinator or offensive coordinator, and I'm hoping to get a head coaching job next season, I'm taking that Bucks job at a discounted rate because two back-to-back seasons we saw Baker Mayfield land that offensive coordinator a head coaching job. Hey, looking like the chances if you are the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucks next season, you most likely will have a head coaching job in 2026. So definitely gonna be a hot job, and I guarantee it'll be filled pretty quick.
Think the guy's a snake just because. And also, if I'm Jacksonville, do you really trust this guy? This is his 5th job in the last 5 years. I mean, he was at Kentucky.
He's hot.
He was at Kentucky. Then he went to LA to coach under McVay. I mean, I don't fault him for that. Then he went back to Kentucky. Then he went to Tampa Bay, and now he went up a little north to Duval County in Jacksonville. He's just a climbing, I don't want to say turd, but he's just a guy that just seeks for the best opportunity, and he'll leave you within an instant. I can't fuck with a guy like that, if I'm being honest. Great offensive coordinator. I'm not doubting that. But I think it's a snake move, especially that he came out publicly and said, you know what, I'm going to stay. And they rewarded him. They said, okay, cool. Thank you for staying. We'll give you a little bump. You deserve it. And then the later that week, you fucking go behind my back and stab me. Think that's fucked up.
Well, on the other side, I think this is a great hire for Trevor Lawrence.
I was just going to say.
We saw him take a step back this season, and we saw what happened 2 seasons ago with Urban Myers. No need to get into it. Urban Myers is a legend. But I think Trevor Lawrence, right now in this point of his career, he needs stability. So I'm just hoping this guy could come in and at least be his head coach for multiple seasons, because this is going to be 3 straight seasons. Trevor Lawrence has to learn a new playbook, new offensive coordinator, new head coach. So we got to at least give some benefit to Trevor Lawrence. Like, hey, he haven't had stability yet. Let's give this guy some stability at the head coaching and OC position, and let's see him how he develops, because it's just been up and down with Trevor Lawrence. But you got to understand, if you're learning a new playbook every 8 months, you're going to go up and down.
Yeah, who do you like maybe for the OC job? Because now another OC vacancy for Tampa. That's an attractive job.
Some people might be like, this guy. I'm going to say Eric Bieniemy.
Oh,
2
this
times.
guy.
Yeah, you see? I'm going to say Eric Bieniemy, but, maybe a guy like Chip Kelly. Just won the national championship.
He was in his bag Monday night.
That's I'm throwing names out there.
What about a guy like Kellen Moore?
Kellen Moore might get the Cowboys job. If I'm Kellen Moore, I go to the Super Bowl. Price went up.
Wow.
How many offensive coordinators call plays in the Super Bowl?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. So if I'm Kellen Moore, I'm not doing nothing. I'm taking the Ben Johnson route. I'll get a job next year.
Wow.
The money gonna be right. He don't
Yeah.
even have to win a Super Bowl. We
Even
saw
Joe Brady.
we saw even Joe Brady. Dale,
Yeah.
thank you. Joe Brady's a hot commodity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Brady gets a job
Next year.
in a few weeks.
Ooh.
In a few
Interesting.
weeks.
All right, and then last one, the Raiders. They make a splash. They call on your boy Pete Carroll. They reach an agreement on a 3-year deal. 4th year, he has a team option as well, but he's 73 years old. He will make history as the oldest head coach in NFL history. The title used to belong to Romeo Cornell. He was 73 years old for his last game back in 2021 with the Texans. Pete Carroll will turn 74 on September 15th. Look at these coaches in the AFC West. Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, and Pete Carroll. I see 4 Hall of Famers.
You got, that's a legendary coaching division. You got to at least admit that.
Yeah, it is.
Got to admit that. Pete Carroll. Is he still Pete Carroll of the old days?
We'll see.
We'll see. Do I love the hire? No. Do I like it? Yes. I think Pete Carroll could still, bring some life to a team. Do I wish they would have went with a younger candidate that could, develop a quarterback towards the future? Yes. But I think Pete Carroll could at least, like I said, bring stability into Las Vegas. Interesting what they're gonna do at the quarterback position. I'm eager to know. Lot of veteran quarterbacks on the market this season. I know Pete Carroll. He's gonna want to win now. I know Tom Brady. He's gonna want to at least make some move now. So, if I'm the Raiders, I'm keeping my eyes on like a Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones, somebody like that. Though I'm keeping my eye out on somebody like that just because.
Or
I know
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, former Raider. Hey, even Russ, Pete Carroll, Russ, we saw him give him a good wide receiver, a pretty good offensive play calling. Russ could win you some games, Dale. So I'll be shocked if the Raiders with Pete Carroll go into a rebuild mode, then start to make moves and try to win now mode.
I just want to know what they do for offensively. They don't have anyone. We'll see what they do for the quarterback. But these are the questions. I wish I was in an interview process for these head coaching jobs because I want to hear what their plans are. What did Pete Carroll pitch to Mark Davis and Tom Brady? Because he's definitely in these meetings that I'm going to be different. At 73 years old, they had to have had confidence to be like, okay, we'll trust you for 3 years.
I don't know.
That's my thing.
I don't know about that. I would have went with a younger offensive guy. I would have tried to give Ben Johnson 16, 17.
Wow.
I would try to hit up Joe Brady. I want to get a young offensive coordinator in because that's what you're going to need. Yes, the defensive side, you have some good pieces. But offensively, you're not going to be able to go nowhere fast if you can't beat Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert,
and Bo Nix.
And Bo Nix. You're going to have to put up points. It starts with the quarterback position.
So the updated head coaching carousel, Patriots get Mike Vrabel, Bears get Ben Johnson, Jets get Aaron Glenn, Jaguars get Liam Cohen, the Raiders get Pete Carroll. Only 2 spots left down in New Orleans and in Dallas. Who do you think maybe our next episode will be able to fill one of those spots, but who do you think Dallas signs? Do you think as all these dominoes start to fall, it really starts to think maybe Dion goes to Dallas?
Nah. Like I said, I think Kellen Moore is live. Former quarterback, former offensive coordinator.
What about Jason Witten?
Like I said in a few pods ago, I don't think Jason Witten. Let's just say, do I think Jason Witten is gonna be a bad coach? No. Do I think Jason Witten is gonna be an all-time coach? No. all I'm saying is the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones want to win now. Is Jason Witten the best candidate to win now? That's
Former
all.
player, like you
No,
were saying, the
yeah, yeah,
trend.
yeah. Like I said, I understand. In my opinion, there's just other coaches out there that puts you in a better position to win now.
Do you think he could be successful in year one?
What's defined successful? Because for Cowboys fans out there,
Yeah.
it's going to the Super Bowl. You know, if success is making the playoffs,
Making the playoffs.
yeah. I think Jason Wade could coach them to 10, maybe 11 wins, maybe even 9 wins. But we all know what do Cowboy fans want to go. They don't want to rebuild.
No.
They don't want to go 8-9. They don't want to go 9-8. They want to go to, especially Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I think it's a very attractive job. You got talent as well. You just obviously have to deal with Jerry, but very interested to see what happens down in Dallas. Now, on the other side of the bayou where the Super Bowl is going to be, New Orleans. Not the most attractive job. They got a lot of money, but the team is bad.
Yeah, this one, if I'm the coach coming in, one thing I want to say is I need a leeway. I don't want to be one and done. I don't want to stain on my resume. You're gonna have to give me a couple years to turn this ship around because New Orleans is a dumpster fire right now. The only bright side you can say is Alvin Kamara. The whole wide receiver core didn't even make it throughout the season. Quarterback was hurt. Cameron Jordan is getting up there in age. Defensively, it's okay, but not what it once was. And you're gonna need an OC. You're gonna need a DC. You're gonna need a whole head coach. You're gonna have to bring in a head coach that's gonna fill those positions and fast. So
yeah,
to me, you're gonna have to get a vet out there. You know, because I don't think a young guy is gonna be like, oh yeah, my first job is gonna be New Orleans Saints. You're gonna go out there and look bad. So I think you're gonna be a vet out there, former head coach. Will see. Hey, maybe even a guy like who just got fired from like a Matt Heberflus.
Oh,
You know, somebody like that.
they need
Or
something. Not an
yeah,
attractive job though.
yeah, not an attractive job. Like I said, it's not gonna be like a home run coach, but somebody that's gonna possibly rebuild. Or like Arthur Smith, somebody like that. You know.
Ooh, thank God the Jets didn't sign Arthur Smith, or maybe a Robert Salah.
Nah.
No. All right, kid. That's the up-to-date coaching carousel. Before we get to NFL Championship Weekend, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or a coconut watching an NFC Championship Weekend, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Championship weekend, 2 games. First game early, we got the NFC game between the Redskins and the Eagles, and then 6:30, we'll head to Arrowhead between the Bills and the Chiefs. We will start at the link, 3 o'clock, Eagles hosting the Redskins. Right now, Eagles laying 6, -285 on the money line, +240 for the Redskins. Total 47.5. All the money, all the bets are definitely on the Redskins. I don't even think they're playing with house money right now. They deserve to be here. They've been the better team in all these games. I think they deserve to be here. And I know what you say on paper. If you go division or you go position by position, the Eagles have better everything except one position. Quarterback. Jaden Daniels is better than Jalen Hurts right now. And I think even they think that going into this game, and they're confident. If the game is tied 24-24, whatever, with 3 minutes left and Redskins have the ball, I don't think the Eagles get the ball back. I just think Jaden Daniels is special. He finds ways to win. I think it's too many points. I thought they were going to open up around 3.5. Definitely deserve to be a favorite, Eagles, but we just saw them put up 30, 35 points against them.
40.
Well, I was going to say against the Eagles a few weeks ago. They're coming in on a 7-game win streak. We talk about it all the time. It's the team that's coming into it the hottest. I'm going to take the Redskins here, +6, +240 on the money line. They're going to be my dog of the week again. I'm going to continue to ride with Jaden Daniels. I just feel something in the air that this team is special right now. Shout out Marshawn Lattimore. He played much better last week than he did against Tampa Bay, but I think the defense is starting to play a little better. And then that offense is just extremely underrated. Now they're going to go up against a really good defense and under Vic Fangio. So we'll see on the road, but I don't know, man. I just believe in Jaden Daniels so much. I think the kid is special, and I just don't think they're going to get blown out here in this spot. So gave me the Redskins +6. I see 6.5s out there, so shop around, but I think they're live too. Like I said, if it's tied fourth quarter or even down 3, I think he finds ways to go down there and win the game. So I'm going to take the Redskins here, kid, on the road.
Still, I love the energy. First of all, I said last week that the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels by far was the best and most impressive team last week. I agree with you, the Eagles deserve to be favorites. Absolutely. But not 6.5 point favorites. This number's too much. Even when the first line came out, 5.5? I smashed the 5.5. I'm taking the 6 in my pocket as well. Like you said, I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback left, but so far in this playoffs, he's been the best quarterback in this playoff. You can't deny that. We saw what he's able to do in Tampa Bay on the road. Tampa Bay has a pretty good defense. They've been there and done that. He took care of business. Detroit, number 1 seed, had a bye week. Number 1 scoring offense in all of football. He went in there, took care of business. And like you said, we saw just a couple weeks ago, week 16, I believe, in the fourth quarter alone, Jaden Daniels and his Washington Commanders came back from a double-digit deficit and scored 22 points against that same Eagles defense. I understand Jalen Hurts wasn't in the game. He left with a concussion, but all that occurred on your defense. Doesn't matter if Jalen Hurts was there or not. If he's able to do that to your defense, let's just say he starts off hot and he keeps it going like he did against Detroit. I'm with you. I think Washington Commanders are alive. I would not be surprised if at the end of the day Jaden Daniels outplays Jalen Hurts. If the Washington Commanders are heading to the Super Bowl, give me the Washington Commanders +6.5. I think it's even a little sprinkle worth on the money line +240.
Yeah, I mean, I also just don't trust the quarterback position. Like I said, Jalen Hurts hasn't been playing good. He got rolled up late in the game against the Rams.
He's not 100%.
He's not 100%. Quinion Mitchell, he was very limited this week. If you check the injury report for the Eagles, he was limited today, and today is Friday. So he's not going to be 100%. I think they're going to have matchups here in this game that, could really help this team. So I like it, kid. I have some prop bets. Do you have any as well?
You could go first there. I'll probably give you one. All
right, I'm going to start with Austin Eckler, more than 3.5 receptions. He's had at least 3 catches in both playoff games. He's great out of the backfield when Jaden Daniels wants to dump it off. And now the Commanders, 6-point underdogs. I mean, in 4 games as an underdog this season, Austin Eckler, he averages 92% more targets and 4.5 receptions he's averaging. So over 3.5 receptions. I love that bet for Austin Eckler. Playoff De'Ami Brown, more than 3.5 catches. He leads the Commanders in both catches and receiving yards this postseason. Now, obviously, he's going to go against the number 1 secondary, but he's probably going to be avoiding the top cornerback. I think he could get some around Cooper DeJean as well. And the last time he faced Philly a few weeks back, He had 5 catches for 56 yards. So more over 3.5 receptions. I like that. And one that I almost got to, again, Jaden Daniels rush attempts. I like that as well. So I almost got to the window, but it wasn't definite. But yeah, those are 2 that I really like in this game. I got more for the Chiefs game.
Yeah, Dale, give me De'Ami Brown over 42.5 receiving yards. Like you said, in this playoff run, he's been the number one wide receiver. He's been putting up a ton of yards, getting the catches as well. We know Terry McLaurin is gonna get most of the attention, and he needs a deep ball threat. I think Zach Ertz and Brown is gonna have those opportunities over the middle. So give me Brown over 42 receiving yards, and I also like Jaden Daniels over 230, what is it, 239, I believe? 229 and a half passing yards. He threw for 299 last week. I think he had about 180 in the first half alone. So I think Jaden Daniels, they're not going to be able to establish a run. They haven't yet to establish a run this playoff. We know Jalen Carter in that front are going to get after the quarterback. I think Jaden Daniels is going to have a lot of read options, get outside of the pocket, and hit some throws down the field. So I also like the over 229 and a half.
All right, let's go to the AFC Championship game between Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Line opened up -1 Kansas City. They're up to -2. Book I'm looking at right now, -1.5 Kansas City, -134 on the money line. Bills +114 on the money line. Total 48.5. Surprised that both of these totals are very similar. I thought that was very surprising. But Kid, I'll let you lead this one off. Buffalo, can they finally dethrone Kansas City?
Me as a fan, I hope to see it. This is going to be a great matchup. Can Buffalo finally get over the hump and beat Kansas City? That's the biggest question of the weekend. I'm gonna tell the people right now. I'm not gonna come down on the side, Joe. I'm rooting for the Buffalo Bills, but I'm smart enough to know it's hard to bet against this Kansas City Chiefs team. They just prove time and time again, they're just the best team in football. They know how to win games. Yes, they might not cover, they might do this, but they know how to win games. We saw it last week. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is the best duel in the National Football League. There's no ifs, no ands, and no buts. They single-handedly took over that game last week against Houston. Wouldn't be surprised to have another big game here. Steve Spagnuolo is gonna blitz. Can Josh Allen, you know, hit those quick reads and make some plays with his legs? Can James Cook get make some plays with his legs? It's gonna be interesting. As a fan, rooting for the Bills. As a financial advisor, it's hard to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. So give me the Buffalo Bills, Dill. I like Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. I'm just not gonna bet it. That's all.
So you're not confident?
My heart is on the Bills, but my wallet is like, you know what?
How can you bet against the Chiefs at home in a short favorite?
Exactly. He ain't Joe Burrow now.
Chill.
Joe Burrow did it.
Steve Spagnuolo, you mentioned him. Before I get into my plays, is he a Hall of Famer? We don't really see coordinators get into the Hall of Fame, but 4 championships. If he goes out and wins another one, that's 5.
I think anybody that was part of a 3P all 3 seasons should be
right.
Yeah, you doing something that's never been done in history.
And he beat you guys in 2007. I mean,
yeah,
he was with the Giants. But no, that name was circling around. And I was like, I thought that was very interesting.
I personally don't think he don't want to be a head coach. I personally think that. Yeah.
I'll start by saying this, kid. Bills, tip your cap to them. They've had an incredible season. They carried so much dead cap. They got rid of so many key players from the past season. But here they are. Final 4, short underdogs on the road. Josh Allen, MVP. I mean, heading into this game, I feel like the Chiefs do come across as the better team across the board. But you got to respect what Josh Allen has done this season. You just have to. And all the Bills, they've struggled this season all their struggles have come on the road. Buffalo was perfect at home. I think 8-0 at home, but they lost to the Ravens, Texans, and Rams, not counting the Patriots loss at the end of the season where Josh Allen only played one snap. But Ravens, Texans, and Rams all lost on the road. I'll be honest. My heart does want Buffalo, but I can't get there. I can't not back Kansas City at home when they've been they're 7-0 ATS at when they're 3-point favorites or less. At home, I can't do it. It's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I just can't do it. I want the Buffalo Bills to win, and I think a lot of America's going to win, but you have to play perfect football in order to do that. And I just don't think Buffalo's going to be able to play perfect football, because if you don't and you make a mistake, they will make you pay. They always do. We saw it last week. And going back to my boy Stevie, I just trust him to come up with another successful game plan in a big-time game to get them back to the Super Bowl. He's the best defensive coordinator in my lifetime, and I've always seen him in big games just dice them up and just figure ways out to slow down a really good quarterback. And you tip your cap, hell of a season to Josh Allen. He probably will win the MVP. Hopefully it's Lamar. But I just think Spagnuolo's going to dice him up. I trust Chiefs at home. Now, if it was in Buffalo, I'd be like, okay, maybe. I think they actually got a chance. But I don't think so, man. I give me the Chiefs. I'll lay the -1.5. I see him on the money line, -125. I think that's a good play as well. We didn't talk about totals, but any totals you like in that first game or this game? Because honestly, I lean under in both games.
I think the first one could go over. Second one, I lean under just because, offensively, Bills struggled. I'm not gonna say struggle, but they weren't in. You could say the best rhythm last week. They got some defensive, turnovers that put them in great position to score the football. So, and we saw Kansas City. I'm not gonna say they didn't look all-time Kansas City. They didn't look like Kansas City for a couple of years ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the defensive matchup. We know Buffalo Bills defense is pretty good, and like you said, we know Steve Spagnuolo is gonna bring the bricks. So I wouldn't be surprised if it takes some time for both offenses to get in rhythm.
All right, kid, let's go to some player props. Like I said, I had 2 for the first game. I got a few more here. Let's go to the Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rush attempts. Bills, what do they play? Man coverage in this playoffs. When you play man coverage and you put and as a secondary, you put your backs towards the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes is going to find his legs. He is going to do it. Against heavy man defenses, Mahomes loves to scramble. 31% of the time, he averages around 5.5 rush attempts. Love it. Over 4.5 rush attempts. And we get rush attempts if we get a kneel down, which they will do. We got twice last week as well. Give me 4.5 rush attempts for Patrick Mahomes. Bless you. Give me Travis Kelce over 70.5 rushing yards. He's earned 70 rushing yards in 14 straight playoff games, including last week. He went to 117 yards. Now he's going up against Bills, who 9th most production to tight ends. Not good against the tight ends. I like Travis Kelce. Another tight end, but on the other side, Dalton Kincaid. We're going to go lower 34.5 receiving yards. He's still splitting snaps with Dawson Knox. In fact, Dawson Knox has run more routes than Dalton Kincaid in this postseason as well. And Kincaid, he's topped just 34 yards just one time in the last 8 games. So under 34.5 receiving yards for Dalton Kincaid. That is my second one or third one. And then my last one, Harrison Butker, less than 7.5 kicking points. This is a bet on the Chiefs being aggressive. I instead of kicking points like Elvis loves to say he would do, Kansas City 5th this year on 4th down conversions. I think they're going to be aggressive in a game they need to be aggressive in. And Butker hasn't made a 50-plus field goal since September. So I think when they're back far, I think they're going to go for it on a lot. So we're going to go less than 7.5 kicking points for Harrison Butker. And that's my fourth prop.
Yeah, I love it. I got a player prop for all the people out there. We saw him, especially in the second half, kind of take over. We saw him. Isaiah Pacheco hasn't been looking healthy. I think they're going to give Kareem Hunt most of the carries. Give me Kareem Hunt over 35.5 rushing yards. Is at 36 now. I still love it. Wouldn't surprise if he gets to 40, 50 plus. Maybe if he scores another touchdown. He got in last week. So give me Kareem Hunt over 35.5 rushing yards. And I'm tempted, though. I'm honestly tempted. Amari Cooper is 17
Oh,
and
this
I know
guy.
I'm not
This
doing it,
guy.
but I am tempted. I can't lie that I am tempted.
He's a dud.
He might be a dud.
He's a dud. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, so I got Kareem Hunt over though. Keeping it.
We're not going back to the well with Travis Kelce.
I like it. It's at 70 yards. Like
14 straight games.
The fan in me is rooting for the Bills.
I hear you. I hear you. Honestly, I'm more confident in my props than I am on the side.
I love Kareem Hunt over. I love it.
All right, kid. Let's go to the association. Good luck. Let's hopefully there's two really good games. I don't want any blowouts. I want two really good games. So good luck this weekend. Like I said, only 3 games here in the association for Friday. But I don't know if you saw, but the Knicks, 2 starters in the All-Star game. I don't know if you saw that. But Jalen Brunson, he's a starter. Donovan Mitchell's a starter. Karl Anthony Towns is a starter. Jason Tatum and Giannis for the East. We got the West. Shai is the first guard. Steph, which debatable. Jokic, he's averaging a triple-double. He's going crazy right now. KD and LeBron. Thoughts on the first the starters? I'll say the starters.
Realistically, on the West, like I love LeBron. LeBron is the GOAT. Go. No ifs, no ands, no buts. The greatest player of all time, and he deserves to have the most votes. All I'm saying is, it's year 21 LeBron. You know, it ain't year 18 LeBron. You know, Kevin Durant. I love KD. The West is a little old. The West might get smoked this year. Just going off the starters still. West might get smoked. I don't see Steph playing 25 plus minutes. I don't see LeBron playing 25 plus minutes. I don't see Kevin Durant playing 25 plus minutes. You get my drift now?
I get it.
Oh, okay then. If Tom Thibodeau is coaching the East, you already know everybody playing 40 minutes. Starters playing 40 minutes.
I think since the All-Star game is in San Francisco, I think Steph got the nod. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. You know, highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Possible for real.
I mean,
possibly.
I'll say this. I mean, Steph, yeah, I think you can make an argument he didn't really deserve maybe to be a reserve, but not starter. I think they're doing it because it's in San Francisco. But LeBron, he's 40 years old. He's averaging 24, 9, and 7.5 rebounds. He's bugging.
No,
he's having a hell of a season.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. He's the greatest of all time, dude. All I'm saying is his year 21 LeBron. I just explained the minutes to you. As a starter, is he gonna play 25 plus minutes?
Might.
He played like 7 last year.
That was last year. He's healthier now.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna be an all-star starter, you should at least play most of the game. Out of 48 minutes or whatever minutes the new rules are, whatever, should play at least a minute or 2 more than half. And 3 out of the 5 starters, in my opinion, maybe not Steph, because it is in San Francisco, he might go out there and go off. I just don't see those guys playing 25 plus minutes. That's all.
We'll find out who the reserves are. The captains wind up picking the reserves soon, but Kate Cunningham has to get in there. Darius Garland.
LaMelo was a snub. To me, like, don't get me wrong, in the East, yeah, LaMelo's bugging. He's on a bad team, but LaMelo's bugging.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Like, he not better than Darius Garland or like Kate or
he is better than Darius Garland. What are you talking about?
What?
LaMelo Ball.
He's just on a better team.
Dylan.
I gotta look these numbers up because Darius Garland has been bugging.
I'm not. Darius Garland is good. He was an All-Star 2 years ago when it was in Cleveland. Not saying he's not, but LaMelo Ball is putting up MVP numbers. He's bugging, cuz he's having career highs all across the boards. He's a stud. I think he's averaging 29.
He's averaging that's oh they doing the bullshit. They're talking about verse him. I don't give a fuck about verse him. I want stat next to each other.
Comparison.
All right, so there's Garland. Oh no, they're always telling me the stats between each other. It's all good. No, I think LaMelo has been balling, but I don't know. I just think he gets overshadowed because one, he plays in a very small market, and two, the team is trash. And now he has to do it all himself because you saw Brandon Miller out the season. He has wrist surgery as well. So I just think voters like LaMelo Ball, but they're not really. I don't think they're really going to be like, oh, let's go get LaMelo Ball. He's going to help us.
I hear you. All
You feel me?
He put his numbers say starter. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, kid. 3 games on the slate today. What do you got?
Yeah, ugly slate. Realistically, Cleveland taking on the 76ers. Philly catching 10.5 at home. No Joel Embiid. It's a big number. I'm not gonna advise it, but I'll lay the 10.5. To lay 10.5 on the road Friday night, it's a big number. Next game, Portland taking on the Charlotte Hornets. I kind of lean Portland plus the points. I like the plus 4.5 here. In my opinion, they're a little better of a team. But hey, Charlotte is home. And then another huge spread. Even though I do like this one a little more, I'd probably take the plus 11.5 with the Pelicans. You know, Zion is back. He is in the. Oh no, he's not in the lineup tonight. But on the other side, John Morant is questionable, so we got to see. But no, with no Zion, it's harder for me to believe that the Pelicans are going to cover that spread. Even though they won, I think 4 straight games, I'm gonna just stay away. And then for Saturday slate, though, and for the people listening, there's no lines out yet. Just for the 12 o'clock game, Indiana Pacers taking on the San Antonio Spurs. I love the Pacers in this spot. We just saw the Spurs blow out the Pacers on a delayed game that happened yesterday around like 2 o'clock. They going back to San Antonio to play it against them. I think they bounce back and take care of business. So I love the Pacers minus 125 on the money line.
I love it, kid. How you doing? A little better now in NBA or not?
I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be completely 100%.
Transparency.
NBA, been getting smoked in the NBA, but
hey, it's all gonna turn around. It's all gonna turn around
soon.
We got 14 games for college basketball. I got 3 games, 3 plays I like starting relatively soon. Give me Long Island against our boys here. I think it's St. Francis in PA. Minus 1.5. I like them on the road. The Sharks. Give me Iowa Hawkeyes at home against Penn State minus 2.5. I like that. And then give me the Bonnie, St. Bonaventure, plus 11.5. Too many points against a good team. I like VCU at home. They should be the favorite, but 11 points is kind of steep. So, yeah, those are my 3 plays. St. Bonaventure plus 11.5. Iowa Hawkeyes minus 2.5. And give me the Sharks of Long Island minus 1.5. Okay, before we let you go, wanted to see if you got this came across your radar. 2025 Hall of Fame for the MLB. Did you see that?
Yeah, Ichiro got in. Shout out Ichiro. He's a legend.
CC and Billy Wagner.
And Billy Wagner. To me, what a class. And it just, to me, Ichiro is one of the greatest hitters of all time, especially in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Career average over 300, over 3,000 hits. He still plays, I'm pretty sure, like professionally in Japan. So at 50 something. So just saw a highlight of him hitting home run just like a year or 2 ago. So shout out him, still a legend and still moving the game forward all over the world.
I love it. Yeah, he was one vote shy away from being the second player unanimous. Do you know who the only player in MLB history to be a unanimous MVP?
You mean MVP?
Hall of Famer, excuse me.
Unanimous. Ooh, who's a fucking legend? Legend. I'm gonna say Derek Jeter.
No, he is tied with Ichiro for being one vote shy.
Wow.
Him and Ichiro are only one shy away. And I'll say this while you think.
Mariano Rivera.
Mariano Rivera is the 100%. 425 of 425. I mean, more people have landed on the moon than people have hit him in the playoffs. I mean, it's insane. He hate him because he's a Yankee.
Just a cutter.
The cutter cut in on your hands, and that two-seam fastball was insane. He's the best closer of all time. Ichiro, 99.7%. Derek Jeter, 99.7%. Those one voters who didn't vote for Derek Jeter and Ichiro should be ashamed of themselves.
Should be ashamed.
Number 4, he didn't get 3 votes. Ken Griffey Jr. He got 99.3.
I would have said Ken Griffey. I was gonna say Ken Griffey Jr. Had to be.
5 votes shy of unanimous. Tom Seaver, RIP, one of the GOATs. Nolan Ryan was tied with 5 as well. And number 7, he missed by 8 votes. Cal Ripken Jr. Those are like the highest of highs of what you could get. But it was a shame. I knew Ichiro was going to get in, but when they said he was one shy of unanimous, I said, "Who? Reveal yourself."
Yeah. Who's the asshole?
I will say, thank God Carlos Beltran didn't get in. I'm still upset with him. He looked at a fastball down the middle, 2007. We could have went to that. I still remember where I was. But kid, any last words before we get up out of here?
Nah, let's just have a great championship weekend. Hopefully, me and you both cash, and we see some entertaining games.
Hey, get some soup in you, kid. You're feeling a little sick lately, kid.
Yeah. It's these early mornings. Every day this week.
Single digits.
I get up at 5 a.m. I'm at work before 6 a.m. It was 4 to 9 degrees every day this week.
Yeah,
so
it
is
brutal.
what it is. It is what it is.
Stay warm out there, guys. Good luck. Have a weekend. God bless. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.